This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashine Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. President meets with IMF director to resolve economic crisis. Government engages international partner in bid to bolster economy. News in detail. Finance Minister Basil Rajpaksha held talks with the IMF Asia and Pacific Department Director Chang Yong-ri to gain assistance in dealing with the plunging reserves, sliding currency and surging inflation. Sri Lanka is expected to start formal negotiations with the IMF in April on a possible program that could boost reserves and put growth on a sustainable path. During talks yesterday, officials discussed details regarding the IMF's latest economic review on Sri Lanka and the assessments outlined by IMF executive directors at their board meeting in February. Director Ree met President Gotabaya Rajpaksha earlier today, and the cabinet will be informed about the talks at the weekly meeting on Monday. In a recent tweet, Central Bank Governor Niwad Cabral stated that IMF meetings with Sri Lankan authorities are not pursuing debt restructuring. IMF Executive Board, in their 2021 Article 4 consultation with Sri Lanka, noted that the country faces mounting challenges, including public debt that has risen to unsustainable levels, low international reserves, and persistently large financing needs in the coming years. Against this backdrop, they stressed the urgency of implementing a credible and coherent strategy to restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability while protecting vulnerable groups and reducing poverty through strengthened, well-targeted social safety nets. The dollar shortage has caused reserves dropping to $2.31 billion in February. The nation struggles to pay for critical imports, including fuel, food, and medicine. Reduced capability to purchase fuel has caused shortages with rolling power cuts, long lines at pumps, and record levels of inflation. Prices rose even higher when the government finally allowed the currency to free float, causing the rupee to fall by 30%. In the meantime, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Ramesh Patirana said this morning that Finance Minister Basil Rajpaksha was empowered by the Cabinet of Ministers to engage the International Monetary Fund. However, Minister Patirana did not elaborate on whether the discussions would be restricted to receiving only technical assistance from the IMF.
Cabinet approval has been given to the Honourable Finance Minister to go ahead and to discuss with the IMF. Their representatives are already in Sri Lanka. And we are getting their technical assistance. So for that, to initiate discussions and to get their assistance, we have given we have okayed that decision. But we have to take it from there, what sort of condition they put forward, and we will look at from the country side as well. So from there, we will take it forward. Whether it's restricted to technical advice and other sort of assistance, it's a matter of time. So we'll have to discuss with them and see on futuristic basis.
The government has engaged in a number of responsible measures to counter the economic turbulence that it is currently facing due to reduced dollar inflow. Recent developments have shown the government to be reaching out nations with a favorable outlook towards Sri Lanka and institutions of global governance for assistance. Finance Minister Basil Rajpaksha will fly to India today to finalize the $1 billion assistance package from India. The funds will be used to purchase essential imports including fuel, food and medicine. Recently, India and Sri Lanka signed a joint venture and shareholders agreement for the Trincomalee Power Company Limited, which is a joint venture between the NTPC from India and the Ceylon Electricity Board for developing a 100-megawatt solar power plant at Sampur in Sri Lanka. Further, Cabinet of Ministers provided Finance Minister Basil Rajpaksha with approval to seek technical support from the International Monetary Fund in funding solutions for the current economic crisis. Apart from this, 3 cabinet subcommittees appointed by the President last month to negotiate with China, Japan and the Middle East economic matters met for the first time on the 9th and 10th March 2022 at the Parliament. With the Foreign Minister's chair, officials were directed to obtain requirement lists from all Sri Lankan bodies to solicit from partner countries, and the China subcommittee agreed to fast-track the China SLFTA. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break.
Now you can buy your ultra-fast fiber connection online through sltmobitel.lk and get special discounts.
Welcome back after the break. Meanwhile, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved a proposal to appoint a 14-member advisory committee comprising business leaders and academics to assist the 11-member Economic Council appointed by the President early this month. The opposition had inquired as to why the Economic Council did not include any economic experts. Accordingly, the new cabinet decision has included a number of business personalities such as Dhammika Perera, Krishan Balendran, Wish Govindasamy and several others.
ජනාධිපති ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමන් විසින් පසුගිය සතියේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකාව මුහුණ දෙන වර්තමාන ආර්ථික අර්බුදය පිළිබඳව එම කළමනාකරණයට උපදෙස් ලබා දීම පිණිස ජාතික ආර්ථික සභාවක් පත් කරනු ලැබුවා. එම ජාතික ආර්ථික සභාවට ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම අන්තර්ගත වෙලා සිටින ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ජනාධිපතිතුමන් සමග ඇමතිවරු සහ නිලධාරීන් පිරිසක් එම ආර්ථික සභාවට සහාය වීම පිණිස උපදේශක කමිටුවක් පත් කරන්නට කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවක් ඊයේ අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉදිරිපත් කොට තිබුණා. එම කමිටුවට ඊයේ අනුමැතිය ලබා දීලා තිබුණා. ඒ යටතේදී ආර්ථික සභාවට සහාය වන උපදේශක කමිටුවට මහාචාර්ය එච්.වී. කරුණාරත්න මැතිතුමාත්, මහාචාර්ය ශිරන්ත හීන්කෙන්ද මහතාත්, ආචාර්ය දුෂ්නි වීරකෝන් මහත්මියත්, ධම්මික පෙරේරා මහතාත්, ක්‍රිෂාන් බාලේන්ද්‍ර මහතාත්, අශ්රෆ් ඔමාර් මහතා, ආචාර්ය හාන්ස් විජේසූරිය මහතා, ඒ වගේම විශ් ගෝවින්දසාමි මහතා, එස් රංගනාදන් මහතා, රංජිත් පේජ් මහතා, සුරේෂ් දමෙල් මහතා, ප්‍රභාස් සුබසිංහ මහතා, දුමින්ද හලංගබු මහතා සහ සුජීව මුදලිගේ මහතා යන එම මහත්ව මහත්මින් 14 දෙනෙකු ජාතික ආර්ථික සභාවට උපදේශක කමිටුව හැටියට සහාය වීම සඳහා පත් කිරීමට ජනාධිපතිතුමන් විසින් කරන ලද යෝජනාවටත් ඊයේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩල අනුමැතිය ලබා දීලා තිබෙනවා.
Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan bin Abdullah Al Saudi paid a courtesy call on the President and Prime Minister yesterday. During his meeting with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the President requested Saudi Arabia to invest in several sectors of Sri Lankan economy. The President outlined foreign investment opportunities in the sectors of agriculture, renewable energy generation, technology-based development and the Colombo port city. The impacts on Sri Lanka due to the pandemic, lower remittances, reduced inbound tourism, reduced rainfall and hydropower and the fuel shortage were conveyed to the Saudi Foreign Minister. The Saudi Foreign Minister has expressed that with his country's special attention to renewable energy generation, he is in a position to assist Sri Lanka in this sector. The President and the Saudi Foreign Minister also discussed strengthening of bilateral relations in a number of areas. This matter was further discussed at the meeting between foreign ministers. Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piri's meeting with his Saudi counterpart expressed keen interest to transform Sri Lanka-Saudi bilateral ties into a results-oriented, multifaceted partnership. The two ministers agreed to a strong relationship in a multitude of areas for mutual benefit in the current global context. Minister Piris noted with appreciation Saudi Arabia's strong support and empathetic approach towards Sri Lanka at the United Nations, especially during the 49th session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva. Foreign Minister Professor Piris encouraged Saudi investments in the Colombo port, Hambantota port, dedicated pharmaceutical zones in Hambantota, newly identified IT parks, fabric textile zone in Batclo, and sought more employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in the Saudi Arabian job market. During the talks, the Saudi Foreign Minister reiterated the commitment of the Saudi Arabian government to further deepen the already buoyant bilateral relations between the two countries and further emphasized economic cooperation. He underscored the vision of Saudi Arabia 2030 as means to transform Saudi Arabia from the present dependency on oil to digital economy in the Middle East region. The central bank, through its issuance of Sri Lanka development bonds, raised $152.54 million yesterday. The amount offered for bid was $50 million, with possible upsizing by an additional 3 times based on favorable market response at a fixed rate determined through competitive bidding for all maturities. An issuance window for SLDBS will be opened with the announcement of the auction results until close of business on the business day prior to settlement, preferably by 3 p.m. on the 16th of March 2022. This will be at the weighted average fixed rate determined for respective maturity at the auction up to the limit specified for possible upsizing on first-come, first-served basis. Applications for subscription through the issuance window are to be forwarded to fopdd@cbsl.lk within the stipulated time period. The 6-month tenure received $162.54 million in bids, from which the central bank accepted $152.54 million at a weighted average fixed rate of 9.48%. In the January auction, 5 months tenure rate was 7.70%. The 1-year tenure received only $2.50 million in bids, and the tenures for the 1 year 10 months, 2 years, 10 months and 4 years 9 months saw no bids. As previous SLDB auctions went undersubscribed, the recent auction is viewed as a success. This is the most successful SLDB auction in recent times, with previous exercises going undersubscribed significantly. In February, the central bank reported raising $111.5 million via SLDB direct issuances. This measure was taken after the SLDB auction in January for $100 million was undersubscribed, with only $86 million received in bids, of which the bank accepted only $11.35 million. Stay tuned for stock updates.
But if she doesn't lay eggs, she'll have to go. Okay, all right. Your pet can stay.
UHD quality video streaming on Sri Lanka's first, fastest and widest premium fiber network. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all share price index dropped 280.96 points to close at 10,284.30, and the S&P SL20 dropped 104.28 points to close at 3,512.50. The turnover was 1.6 billion rupees and over 90 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
IWS Aviation.